Okay, Rosie, you've been waiting a long, long time for this. Finally, it starts for real. Some keys to victory. A couple things I'm looking at. Scoring first. How much stock do you put into that? I know even looking last night, a couple teams who didn't score first end up winning, but a trend we saw late in the regular season, the Maple Leafs scored first in 15 of the final 20 regular season games.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, just statistically, to score first is huge. To open the floodgates first is huge. You start the game with momentum. You start the game with that positivity and that confidence of leading the game and getting out to the best start. It's huge to score first. Obviously, it's not the end all be all, but it's certainly something both teams are trying to do because you basically start the game off controlling the game, and they basically have to score twice on you, who's already gotten a good start on them, just in order to get kind of the reins back on the game, which is a difficult position to be in, especially in the playoffs. So yeah, it's huge to score first, but as we saw last night, it's not the end all be all, but something everyone's trying to do, no doubt.
I would probably say I would probably trend towards it being a bit cliche. Having said that, when you're playing a team specifically like Tampa, I think I would put more precedence and ownership on scoring the first goal in the game because you know who the big cat Andre Vasilevsky's at the other side of the ice. Ilya Samsonov, man, you get the feels last night watching even guys like Philip Gustafson, make his postseason debut. So you don't care at all about the numbers? Obviously, I mean, you look at the numbers. Samsonov 1-6-0, 2.98. 907 in the Stanley Cup playoffs, a different Samsonov. He was great this year. And I'm happy I'm excited for this guy to put his name on the map here in the Stanley Cup playoffs, too.
Yeah, I think he's going to make a name for himself this series. I think he's ready. I think he's done it all year long. He is a different player than he has been. I mean, he's a young guy who's elevated his game. I mean, when you're, I don't know, a junior player and you're playing as a 16-year-old and your numbers are this, and then you just elevate yourself as a 17 or an 18-year-old, and then everyone's like, I don't think I don't think he's got what it takes. Look what he did when he was 16. I mean, the numbers aren't really. They're like, what are you talking about? They develop, they get better, they grow, they're older and more mature. He's a young kid, and it's not like he's just kind of found a hot streak the last couple of weeks and, oh boy, hopefully he's going to take us to the promised land. He has been good all year long, and I have nothing but faith in Samsonov back there, and I believe that he is going to make a name for himself for the rest of the NHL to take notice here this series.
What are you looking for from Samsonov? Like, ideally, I think in a perfect world, I need him to make those routine saves. But most importantly, this team has been subject to those stinkers in the past. Not as much from Jack Campbell, I felt last year, but in the past with Freddie Anderson. You just can't let in that weak goal, right?
Yeah, and I just think that Freddie Anderson is a streakier goalie. I've played with him, and when he's good, he's friggin' good, and when he's bad, he's a stinker, and he's been like that, and he was for the Maple Leafs, and I think Campbell's got a little bit of that. I think Campbell can lose his confidence very quickly,
Hmm.
but Samsonov, I need him to do exactly what he's been doing, and you can look at him and see the confidence that he exudes, that he passes on to the other guys. I mean, he's big, he's poised, he's not panicking, he's not scrambling, he's out, he's in position, and he's just smooth. And there could be like an odd man rush or the backdoor play and just a simple little slide pad save back on into position. Like it's very poised and it's confident. And I expect him to be like that again, and that exudes off to the rest of the team, and it's something that rubs off on the other guys. That's important in the playoffs for sure. And yeah, make that big save when need be, and you need to do that by playing that way.
Again, all these keys are cliche, but another thing you have to look at, we even saw last night to an extent, discipline. We know this time year people get hot and horny and heavy. The Stanley Cup playoffs, game one, you got guys making debuts and stuff like that. But just stay in the moment. I think the big takeaway as well from last year was special teams. And we talked about this the other day. The Maple Leafs power play seems to dry up at the wrong and worst times. You even look at last year's first round. They were 4 for 28. Tampa was 7 for 33. Again, the margin for error is so slim. You score a couple extra power play goals, you stay out of the box, you never know what way a series can go, right?
Yeah, it is the time to take advantage of the power play for sure. You'd like to think that both teams are going to play hard. They're going to let them play hard, and whoever crosses the line is going to go into the box. And if you pay the price on giving away power plays, then so be it. But you know, to me, the keys to victory are playing with intensity. You go out there and you play with intensity. You hit with intensity. You pass the puck with intensity, you forecheck, you back check with intensity, you're on the bench talking to the guys with intensity. Everything is heightened and high, and you do everything hard. And if you do that, the chips will fall where they may. And I mean, everything takes care of itself if every single guy is just chomping at the bit to destroy the Tampa Bay Lightning with whatever it is that they do well that makes them on that roster. And, we've got the personnel that if they do that, they'll have success. So, I mean, the Leafs of the past, I think in the playoffs have kind of been a little bit timid and a little bit looking around, and they grip their stick a little bit, and they're just not a team to get it done in the playoffs. And this year, I think their personnel has changed enough where they've got that identity, and I hope they prove it here tonight. So hence all the excitement.